Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our video. Don't worry, Hoosier fans. The wait is finally over. You got your first transfer portal player. You got your first official player on the roster for next season, even though technically Trent Sisley is still committed to Indiana, so that is somebody. But the room was totally empty. But DePaul transfer guard Conor Enright has committed to Indiana. The first domino to fall so far in the transfer portal. I'm going to go over this edition for Indiana and what else Darian Devries, the new head basketball coach for Indiana, is going to have to do to make Indiana a good team next season. Feels like a broken record at this point of me talking about Indiana basketball the past few years in the Mike Woodson era, even going as far back as the Archie Miller era. Every year it's like, is this the year Indiana's going to be back? Is this the year they're going to start winning again? Oh, they brought in some quality players. This is going to be their year, and it's not. Last year, they started the season ranked. They brought in a ton of great players through the portal, supposedly great players. None of it panned out. That's why Mike Woodson is gone, and a lot of other coaches have been fired this year as well. So you have a lot of teams with barely any players right now. Like I said, Indiana lost everybody. Malik Renew's gone. Mackenzie Mbako's gone. Bryson Tucker's gone. Gabe Cupps is gone. Jakai Newton, Miles Rice, Cannon Carlisle, the whole rigmarole, the whole shebang, all gone. And Indiana's going to have to be bringing in new players to replace all those guys. Because not only did they lose all those guys to the portal, they also lost guys that were seniors. Kind of like Umar Ballo. He is gone. Also losing Trey Galloway and Anthony Leal. They're gone. Luke Goody, still looking for that hardship waiver. It would be great for Indiana if he could return, but we don't know if the NCAA is going to give it to him. Tucker DeVries, the coach's son, hasn't transferred to Indiana yet because he's looking for that hardship waiver, but once he gets it, which he should, more likely that he gets it than Luke Goody, then he's going to be transferring over to Indiana. But Conor Enright is the first official player to commit to Indiana. And we also had more big news that hurts Indiana fans. Malik Renew has committed to Miami. Just wanted to mention that as well. He's officially announced where he's going. Gabe Cupps has gone to Ohio State, which stinks that he's remaining in the Big Ten for Indiana fans. But Conor Enright, he's not a splash name, but he averaged 7.5 points and 6.2 assists this past season at DePaul. And you can look at DePaul and say, well, it's DePaul. They're not very good. The Big East isn't as good as it used to be. But that's still very solid to have 6.2 assists per game, especially considering DePaul did not shoot the ball very well. So he probably could have had more assists if he was actually passing it to dudes that were going to hit the shots. But he had one of the best assist rates in college basketball this past season. That's great. And his points per game improved too, because when he was at Drake, he did not actually impact the game that much on offense. And hear what I said, Drake, he actually knows Darian DeVries already, which is a great thing as well. He already has played under his system, so that's solid. This is not an addition that is going to matter all that much at the end of the day if Darian DeVries brings in a lot of great players through the portal. This addition will end up kind of being an afterthought. He'll probably end up being a bench player at the end of the day. If he's a starter for Indiana, then yeah, there might be some problems on next season's roster. I really wouldn't want Conor Enright to be one of the starting five unless he's just that impactful of a guard. I mean, I've seen some highlights of this kid. He's a great defender. He can defend. He passes the ball very well. Again, offensively, not the greatest, but you kind of see where he has some Anthony Leal comparisons. Obviously, he's a different player than Anthony Leal, but still, you kind of like to see that. He's an experienced guy, too. 6'2", he's a bit undersized, but if you have other bigger guards on the team, then you don't necessarily have it as a liability with him being only 6'2". But as you can see, it's all over the internet that he is committed to Indiana. And when you look at his stats overall, 7.5 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. I like that 3 rebounds a game. You're talking about a guy that's only 6'2", but he averaged 3 rebounds a game. You can't beat that. His field goal percentage, though, is not great, and I don't like that. You see that he only shot 39% from the field, 32% from 3, and 63% at the foul line. Hopefully, Darian DeVries is able to bring in other guys with the portal. They're much better free throw shooters than this because Indiana, we have seen over and over again Stockholm Syndrome, and Indiana cannot hit free throws. They cannot hit threes, and it's annoying. It's getting to the point where that is the determining factor in what makes an Indiana basketball fan happy or not every single year. Can we shoot the ball? Can we knock down free throws? The answer has been no every single season for it seems like a decade since the end of the Tom Crean era. And that's why Indiana fans are exasperated. It's struggling to watch a team miss free throws consistently year in and year out. I mean, they're college players. They should not be missing free throws on a regular basis. I mean, Indiana's two best guards, you could argue, this past season from a winning standpoint were Galloway and Leal, and both suck at the free throw line. That is not a good thing to have. So Conor Enright got to improve that free throw percentage, but do still like all the things he brings to the game. I mean, he's also, like I said, a good defender at drawing charges. Doesn't steal the ball that much, but overall, I do like this addition. I know some people are clowning on it, but it's the first edition. If he was announced as the 9th player out of all the guys that Darian Devries was being brought in, then I feel like Indiana fans would be more cool with it, but it's just because he's the first edition and they want a splash name. Like if Ryan Conwell hadn't been announced first, that he was coming, or even Tucker DeVries, then I feel like Indiana fans would be in a little bit better headspace right now. By the way, tough loss to lose Ryan Conwell for the 4th time. Indiana's had multiple times to get this guy. He's never going to play for Indiana, obviously. He transferred to Louisville, good addition for Pat Kelsey, but the portal's crazy right now. That's all you can say. Every team, it seems like, is losing tons of players. Some teams like Indiana have no players, and other teams, even guys like Bill Self in Kansas, are losing quality players. Flory Badunga's in the transfer portal. So the transfer portal is crazy. I can't really assess this transfer addition much more outside of the fact that I think this is a solid addition, a solid bench piece for next season for Indiana. I do like the fact that he already played under Darian DeVries, but Indiana needs a lot more help to the roster because they only have one official guy other than Trent Sisley and technically Tucker DeVries or Luke Goody if they get those hardship waivers. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for Indiana. Don't dislike this first edition. I give it around a C+ to a B-, somewhere in that range. And I definitely would change my grade of this transfer edition once Indiana lands some more players, see how it kind of fits together, and then we can kind of reassess and say, hey, Conor Enright, he definitely fits with these other guys. But Indiana finally got that monkey off their back, got their first transfer portal edition, and Darian DeVries has a lot more work to do, but he got step 1 off the list of trying to fill out a roster for next season for Indiana basketball. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Indiana getting Conor Enright as the first transfer portal edition, the transfer guard from DePaul, and whether you think he'll work out for IU next season. Your thoughts on Malik Renew going to Miami, and whether you think Darian DeVries is going to build a great roster for Indiana basketball next season. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next time.